we are back MNB to talk about football. Here, football is more than a sport, football is culture. And I have here with me my friend, Alex Nogueira. How are you doing, man?
I'm great, Chicca. Thank you so much again for having me here, and thank you all of you guys to be at home or wherever are you watching this video. Thank you so much for being with us again.
Once again, we're going to talk about Premier League. Well, it has just started. We had the first round, not entirely because some clubs didn't play, but we're going to be talking about Premier League in depth just after our opening. So stick with us. So don't forget, if you're new here, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have these videos talk about football in English, where we are not natives, as you probably realize, every week. Alex, so first round was pretty interesting. Some very fun games, let's put that way. But let's talk about a particular one that we are very excited about it. Liverpool against Leeds United. Leeds that has Marcelo Bielsa, El Loco, the crazy, right? One of, as you said, one of the most brilliant minds in the sport. And Jurgen Klopp, which we can make a similar claim, right? Probably one of the most prestigious coaches in the world. So my question is, was a great game, 7 goals. It was amazing by default, right? This is amazing. However, the defensive systems, they were not ready yet, right? Mistakes from Van Dijk, Gomez, Alexander-Arnold, what is the name of the Koch from Leeds. Too many mistakes, right, for the beginning of the season.
Yes, I agree with you, Kik. I think it was too many mistakes, and to be honest, I think more than the defensive line itself, I think was all the defensive work, all the defensive system from the clubs, from the teams were both a bit rusty, to be honest. I felt that they were not necessarily working together like they should. And if you, as a player, a midfielder or attacker, if you expect that the line of 4, line of 3 take care of all the problems, then you are a problem as a player. So a lot of what I see was, I don't call it commitment, but maybe they need to be more on their toes to be ready to actually do what they need to be done. And sometimes it's not about centre backs or the full backs. It's much more about the CDM, the box to box, that they need to work a bit more. So I agree with you. I think some of the mistakes was almost a timing mistake. So yeah, they identified the problem. They know exactly what to do, but exactly the timing, when, how to do it, that happened a lot. And I think when we look to the 2 penalties, I think that was a little bit of that.
But also the movement from Van Dijk, that was a horrible mistake, right? And also the way that Alexander-Arnold tried to intercept that ball, right? All goals from Leeds United have this component of mistakes, right? Another interesting game. I mean, there were some interesting games, right?
But let me just interrupt you. 20 seconds. Yes, there was a few mistakes, individual mistakes from Liverpool players, but don't forget that one of the best things Marcelo Bielsa can do is provoke the mistakes on the opposition team.
Exactly.
So that's really important. Yes, there was individual mistakes, but what about that sneaky player in the corner of the eye that maybe actually made the Liverpool players that mistake?
Absolutely.
So yes, I agree with you. There was mistakes, but let's not forget that sometimes some mistakes are actually provoked by the opposition team. So I think let's balance that.
I think you're gonna see it throughout the season. Leeds United using the other club, the opponent mistakes, right? Another interesting game was Fullham 0-0 and Arsenal 3, which we could see how powerful the offensive system from Arsenal can be. But I think another game that deserves a little comment would be the Tottenham Spurs being beaten by Everton. I mean, you're gonna comment about this game, but we have a very interesting managers this year, right? Probably one of the most interesting years in terms of managers, right? We have Ancelotti, we have Mourinho, we have Bielsa, you have Jurgen Klopp, we have Guardiola. Who else is missing, right? So when we had Ancelotti against Mourinho, and Ancelotti won, right?
Yeah, like to you just spoke about Arsenal, and I think Arsenal, what happened with Arsenal and Aubameyang, this is a really important one. Aubameyang actually already signed a new contract, and that is huge for the Gunners. And I'm quite sure he will show throughout the season that he actually deserves that contract. Regarding Tottenham, I really don't know. Like, I think managers wise, yes, Premier League is the place to be if you are a manager, if you are a player as well, obviously. But when we look to Tottenham with the special one, good money invested in that team, but Mourinho is still asking for more and more and more. And then we watch Eric Dyer as a centre back. And we know that Eric Dyer for Mourinho is clearly a CDM, not a centre back. So there is a few things going on. Everton is going strong this year. I'm really curious about Everton.
I agree. Especially if Jaime Rodriguez get back to his original form, original shape. Oh my God, that's going to be a team very hard to beat, though.
And if you think against Tottenham, Theo Walcott, Bernard, that came from Shakhtar, they stayed in the bench. So, like, we're talking about players that probably they will be in the first team in the majority of the Premier League teams, and they just stayed in the bench. So Everton, they have the manager, they have the players. I think prepare to see Everton fighting for the top four. I strongly believe in that.
Yeah, me too. I think Everton would get a place in the top four. And instead of talk Chelsea, the first game that they beat Brighton away, which is pretty cool, 1-3, we could talk about Chelsea for the next game against Liverpool, right? That must be very interesting. Remembering that Liverpool, just signed Thiago Alcântara. Thiago Alcântara is a curious thing, right? He was born in Italy, but he's Brazilian and he has a citizenship from Spain. But more important, I don't know if you knew that, his father was a player in Brazil national team in 1994. Mazinho was an amazing player that played mostly in Spain. And now Thiago Alcântara, which actually plays in a very similar way as his dad, is now a player from Liverpool. What should we expect from that game? For me, that's going to be the most interesting game in the round 2. Chelsea against Liverpool.
We look to a Chelsea, and even last year, we cannot forget that Chelsea they fought for competitions last year. You know, a few months ago, we were watching Chelsea against Arsenal, and Chelsea played actually really well. And in terms of age, I really look Chelsea in 2 years, 3 years, if they can keep the little gems they have in their team, do a really great job. So I think Chelsea, I don't know if this will be the year. I don't know. I think not, to be honest.
Top 4, right? Top 4.
Even top 4, I think it will be a nice battle, because it's really hard to think about top 4 and then say, okay, these 8 teams will be for top 4.
Fair enough. So this is like a long-term future.
Yeah.
For this weekend, what should we expect in this game that seems to be the most interesting game in this round?
I think we will see a quite open game, to be honest. Like Chelsea, they are pretty comfortable in the back. They are comfortable sitting in the back. But Liverpool is really good as well, actually attracting the other team to then use their back to use the space to actually attack. So it's really hard for Liverpool using Salah, Mane, actually when they are playing with full offensive all the time. So they need space. So I'm really curious to see how Chelsea will keep their philosophy about sitting a little bit more in the back without actually leaving the game for Liverpool. So I think tactically wise I think they are really different, Lampard and Klopp, and tactically will be a really great thing to see, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Who wins?
Liverpool. I will go for Liverpool, to be honest.
Me too. I think Liverpool get this one at least 2-0. I think we're gonna see Liverpool getting more organized in terms of defense. Anything else that you should be paying attention for this round 2, or should we wrap this thing up?
Let's have a look on United Crystal Palace. I really want to see how United is actually back from, well, actually first fixture of the Premier League for them. Tottenham. How Tottenham will go when he goes to the Saints and Southampton. Mourinho must win this game. No option. He must win this game.
Pressure is up.
Completely. Two losses in a row. It will be too bad for them. And obviously Monday Wolves versus City. I think will be a good game as well. So I will speak about these 4 games as probably the most important. But clearly Liverpool and Chelsea, they are really right there.
Yeah, that's the game of the round. Thank you guys that watching. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, leave your comment down there. We answer them all, and we really like this interaction. Alex, thank you so much for your participation in here. And remember, I'm gonna see you guys back next week, MNB, talking about football in English. See you guys around.